something that often gets overlooked, but more and more people are appreciating, is the interactions between plants and organisms within the soil, particularly decomposers like bacteria and fungi. It's still pretty recent discovery, only in the last couple decades, but more and more we're really starting to appreciate that not only can we find lots of examples of symbiotic interactions between fungi and the soil and the roots of plants, but more and more we appreciate that the vast majority of plants are dependent on symbiotic relationships with fungi. There are very few plants at this point that we definitively know do not interact with fungi. The most common example is the brassicas, the wild mustards and all the cultivated things from cabbage to kale and etc. They exclusively do not interact. They don't have mutualistic interactions with fungi. But just about every other type of plant you're ever going to interact with in your life is also interacting with a fungus, especially trees. Trees more so than other types of plants. The vast majority, or the highest concentrations of fungi we find in soils are in the soils of forests, and it's because of the strong associations that they have with trees. So especially in a perennial system like our orchard, where we're managing shrubs and trees long term, we want to make sure that for the health of the plants, we're also managing the health of the soil, and particularly the biology of the soil. So we will do soil testing to try and understand what's naturally already here. We will do inoculations, which is where we intentionally introduce an organism. If it's bacteria and fungi, it's usually in the form of spores that are a dry powder that you can either incorporate into the soil, or you can mix them into water and use it as a spray or a soil drench. The benefit of introducing those organisms is multifaceted. On one level, they are the decomposers, so they are responsible for breaking down all the organic matter that falls to the soil. As we commonly learn, they are responsible for breaking things down so that they can be recycled by the ecosystem, so that other organisms like your plants can get access to the nutrients within that material that's getting broken down. But more importantly, now we understand that it's not just that fungi are making these things available to our plants, but that they are in symbiotic relationships with plants. So fungi grow to the roots of your plants. They will grow onto them. They'll either touch them and wrap around them, or they'll physically burrow into the roots of your plant and make a permanent physical connection with them. And from then on, there's constant chemical communication going on, where the plant is asking the fungus for certain nutrients, which the fungus goes out into the soil and either collects or breaks down more material to collect those nutrients. It brings them back, and once it's given those nutrients to your tree, the tree then gives it some sugar that it produced from photosynthesis in exchange. So that's the real symbiotic relationship that we're talking about between fungi and plant roots, and it is truly essential. So we always want to make sure that we're fostering healthy soil biology in order to foster healthy perennial plants. You can see in particular the main way that we do this is wood chips. Wood chips at the base of our trees is great. It mimics a lot of the debris that we would find in a forest, where we would more commonly find trees like this. It also acts as a good weed suppressant. It helps keep the grass away from the trunk of the tree, which the younger, shallower roots of the tree, if there's a lot of grass, really dense root system of grass in there, that can be a lot of nutrient competition, that can put a lot of stress on your tree. So I'd rather keep grass as much away from the trunk as possible. But also, the wood chips make a really easy media to inoculate and to feed the soil biology, especially the fungi, over a long period of time, that are capable of slowly breaking down woody material. And you could see, where did it go? There we go. What we're looking at here, these white strands, these root-like strands that are in the soil, this is a fungus. This is the actual primary body of a fungus. When we talk about fungi, you might think of a mushroom. The mushroom is to the fungus as the apple is to the apple tree. The mushroom is only the reproductive structure. The main body is these thread-like strands that form a dense network running through the ground. They're known as hyphae, and collectively we refer to them as the mycelium. And so we have this mycelial network of fungi growing through the ground, physically holding it in place like the roots of plants, breaking down organic material, recycling nutrients, and not only making them available to your plants, but literally bringing them to the door, right to the roots of your plants, and exchanging them for sugars. So it's a win-win for everybody when we foster living, healthy soil.